and this will be on YouTube. So, and I'm gonna send a message to a friend of mine. His name's Marley. I don't know him personally, but
Oh, is it
he said,
Marley Loves Film?
yeah,
Ah, I know Marley.
you know Marley. He wants to join in a little bit in the comments.
Okay.
So ask questions and stuff. So let me send him a message real
Why don't
quick.
you ask Marley how he feels about Greta Gerwig?
Oh yeah, let's talk. Well, this will be
Yeah,
fun. Let me hit
we'll,
Marley up.
we'll talk about that, Marley.
Okay. Let me send him a message. I'll send him a message. I'm online.
He knows his days are numbered, Tyler. He knows that very much.
Wait. So what's his opinion on on it?
Marley is not a Greta Gerwig fan.
Oh, Marley isn't. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. All right, I just sent him a message that we're online. Let's see. Let's see if he pops up. But yeah, let's just talk. Um, so you saw Rise of the Beast. I'm Tyler, by the way, and this is my friend Kyle.
Hello,
And
everybody.
yeah, I want to try and do more of these live streams because they're always fun. This is just always fun to shoot the shed a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
just talk about everything that's going on in the movie and TV world and what we're into right now. So Kyle, what's new on your front when it comes to movies and TV?
Well, funny you should ask. I just came out of seeing Transformers Rise of the Beasts, which just came out tonight. It was given an advanced screening last night, but I didn't go to that because they were charging like $15 a ticket the night before the movie comes out when I can just
Whoa.
go the next day with Read
Yeah.
Unlimited, I was like, it's no biggie. And thankfully I wasn't spoiled on the movie. I made sure to, be careful. I thought I almost got spoiled because maybe we can discuss a little bit of this, but I did see The Flash a couple days ago.
Okay.
Went to an advanced screening for that one, which was the very first time I've gone to an official, advanced screening, 1 week in advance that is only for press, really. Now I got to see it because I found 2 free passes off of Facebook, and I'm so glad I did. But going back to Transformers, I will say that it is my favorite Transformers movie next to the first Transformers. And
Okay.
I think the first Transformers is a perfect film. So I also think this is pretty much a perfect film in itself because it really gives you everything that you could ever ask for a Transformers movie. It gives you the action. It gives you all the different Autobots, all the different Terracons and the Maximals. They all have their moments to shine. Honestly, one of my favorite characters is this one Terracon. They're essentially Decepticons, but I think they're because I'm not too well versed in the Terracon mythology, but I think it's like the Decepticons are the Decepticons, and then the Terracons are like a division of the Decepticons. But here you have one Terracon called Battle Trap, and this guy is so cool. He has this weapon. It's like um, a chain mace type of thing, and when he throws it, it will like catch onto some type of object. So if it's like a wall, it'll catch onto the wall and then pull a chunk of that wall out, and he can
Ooh.
throw it at another.
So it's a whip. Is it a whip? Is that what you say?
Yeah, it's like a what it's like. It has like a ball with a spike on it, so it's kind of like
Oh,
a little bit
like
a
a ball and
mace.
chain.
Yeah, ball and chain essentially.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
Okay.
he uses it in various degrees, and it is one like I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. The kills, like there are some great kills in this movie.
Oh, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, I highly recommend it. I really hope that people go out to see it because unfortunately right now it's sandwiched in between 2 movies. So
Yeah, and that's always a problem when it comes to now the oversatur and frankly, I could say it's oversaturation that's going on at this point. Um, and I think that's the sad thing that's going on right now, Kyle, is there is there is a fatigue, to go back to the movie theater. And I think I think that's gonna be its biggest problem is battling juggernaut of a film that is the Spider-Verse right now. Um, but again, I think too we need to get past that fact and be like, we can have three great movies in a movie theater right now, and also
Two great movies.
two great movies, two great movies. Oh yeah, two great movies going on right now, or will be going. Yeah, yeah, going on right now in the
But
theater. Like I
but you
think,
know what's also really good about this, when I specifically also mean two great movies, I'm speaking of Spider Verse and um, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, that are led by two um, Hispanic actors, or not actors, but characters, in Miles Morales and Anthony Ramos's Noah in Transformers, and also co-led by two strong female characters, which I think would be Elena, played by Dominic Fishback in
yeah,
um, Transformers Age, Rise of the Beast, and Spider Gwen. So I think that is something that's really, I mean, it's a very diverse cast too in the Transformers film, which really, really works out because the Transformers films in the past have been very much criticized for either their racism or their over sexualization of their stars.
yeah, like the
And
Megan Fox conundrum,
exactly. And
which
here
is
it's
you don't
nice to
see that
see.
happen. You don't see that happen in this movie. You
You
think
don't see
with
it at all.
Dominic?
You
Okay,
really don't. And it's
that's good.
just like that was one of the good things about Bumblebee, right? Because
Yeah,
Bumblebee also, thank
yeah. Oh
God
my god.
it didn't happen because she literally just turns 18 in the movie. So that is,
Yep,
a whole
yep.
bag of
That is a
worms. And
whole other bag
yeah,
of worms,
like
dude.
thank God that didn't happen. Thank God it was Travis Knight that, did it. And we got Christina Hodson that wrote that script. So you did have a woman in the writer's room to help write out this character. But here, yeah, like here it's, and I've seen a lot of people say it's the Transformers movies without the racism, the um,
Yeah.
over sexualization, and Linkin Park. That's how they said it, and I'm like,
Don't hate.
that.
I don't hate on Lincoln Park
I
though.
know,
Like
me too.
Lincoln
I'm like,
Park is Lincoln
this
Park
better
makes
not be Linkin Park, Kate, because they're one of my favorites. And
yeah,
it's
and also like the use of what I've done and in the end or the divide, the what I've done in Transformers and that is
yeah,
and also I we got to talk about the fact too like that felt like uh, as much as there was the over sexualization of the female characters in the Bay universe, I mean, Megan, like that was my introduction. That was our introduction to Megan Fox, dude. Like, there is some good that came from that because it gave her the platform. I mean, no,
be
I mean the
careful with your words, Tyler. Be careful
yeah.
with your words.
No, I'm not
But
saying it like,
uh,
but it's like it was
yeah,
the introduction to the to the main
I mean, it
audience.
was the introduction of Megan and
Yeah,
Shia LaBeouf because
yeah,
I
and that's
mean
a interest.
that
That's a, yeah, but
that's something that
also
should be noted, and is how you know Transformers really set the
and
path.
Josh Dumel as well.
Tyrese
Tyreek,
Gibson in a way.
Tyrese as like a, oh my god, yeah. And I mean, they made their choices with what they were fucking doing, and I think they kind of knew where the audience was and who the audience was, and I think it was also just egregious with how Bay kind of treated Megan on Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, that kind of led to her
Yeah,
exiting everything, you know?
I still feel like
There
there's a lot we haven't heard about that.
oh, I
Yeah,
bet there
I,
is.
I'm very
And
curious to read it. Behind the scenes.
and I think also now that we're talking a little bit about all that, um did you follow the news about Burn It Down, the book that's coming out? Have you heard about this?
I don't think so.
Oh, let's talk about this because I think this is a good. I want this. Like as much as it's talking about movies and everything
Mhm.
else, the way I want to frame a lot of my discussions is there needs to be still a climatic change within the industry that still needs to happen.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of good things that have come, but I think we need there needs to be a bigger shift coming. And um Burn It Down, let me look it up and see who wrote it. Give me 1 second, Kyle. Cuz the book I think just came out. It was oh yeah, it's called Burn It Down by Maureen Ryan. It is it's called Burn It Down: Power, Complicity, and the Call for Change in Hollywood.
Mm.
And the main they released an excerpt from the book, and it talks about the how uh how one of the characters in Lost was treated and the
Oh, I
racism.
did hear about this.
Dude, the
I thought
the
that was an article online, but it's a
it
book.
was an article. It was an article for sure. It was an article, but what it was is um it kind of gave a spotlight for the writer to release a big excerpt. I haven't read the excerpt, but from what I've heard and
Yeah.
how Jeff Snyder talked about it, it is damning because it's like basically the way that they were treating the um the way that the writers on the show and like Damon Lindelof were treating these characters, there was and this is insane. So in Jeff Snyder talked about this on this podcast
Uh huh.
and or live stream that they did. And I don't know if it's in the book, but I think it might be where they wanted and I'm gonna preface this by saying trigger warning, but this is a big fucking deal with what was talked about, and I wonder again if it's gonna be in the book. I need to get the book and I need to read it because I think with everything else going on again, there's a lot of good that can come from reading a book like this
Hmm.
because it sheds a light on some really insane things. But it was in the book, I think Jeff talked about the fact that they, the writers, right? The writers in one of the scripts was going to kill off one of their African American characters in the show by stringing him up on a tree like a lynching.
Wow.
And somebody had to fucking say to the writers, like, hey, listen, like this this can't be how you're gonna do it because the optics of what this is not okay. And
Yeah.
I think it had I don't know if the script was written and then they had to redo it or if it was in the writers room, but they talk about that. And the way that they were treating their the lead, he's in the that he's in that TV series From.
Yeah.
Have you heard
Harold
about
Pano.
I
What's his
forget
name?
how to pronounce his name, dude. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm looking it up because he's a great actor. Great actor. Um it is yeah, it's Harold Perrineau. Harold
Yeah.
Perrineau. And he's a great actor.
He
But
is.
I the
Was it? He was
excerpt
in
was
the Matrix, right?
yep, I
Yeah.
think so. I think
He
so.
was in the
He's also
Matrix
in a lot of
Reloaded.
other a lot of other a lot of other good things, dude. And just the way that they were treating him and also Lindelof kind of did the whole like, well, I didn't see it that way. Like his response was not a good response, man. Like he kind of he took some responsibility, but he should have taken more responsibility for the dysfunction that was going on in it and in the writers room and on the show in general.
Some
But
say that the the fact that Lindelof lost the Star Wars movie
Yes.
could have been a result of this coming out. And
Yep.
they knew about it coming out, and they were like, you know what? It's not in our best interest to have him on board, which is actually interesting because a lot of people just assume that it was, your casual falling out with another Star Wars writer or movie um, director, but in this
Yeah.
case, it could have been this, which actually kudos to Lucasfilm because they they may have dodged a bullet here,
And
and
also,
yeah.
Jeff said in the pot in the you did you watch the stream where he talked about what
No.
that was? So he also said the script was not good too. Like Jeff
Oh.
said, he talked to a source that said also the script wasn't
Oh.
good. But also, I think you can frame it that way as well too. That maybe Disney had
Hmm.
some kind of a heads up that this was coming, that this article was going to be as damning as it was. And again, and also, this couldn't have come at a better time
Yeah.
because the writer's strike that's going on right now and the DGA now, also, I'll talk about that too. The
Hmm.
writer's strike that's going on and the DGA thing that's going on and this book coming out when this is all happening, I
Hmm.
think that only um kind of solidifies the WGA, SAG, and DGA stance about improving things. Now, going on the DGA thing, I think that is I've been talking to my DGA friends, and I'll tell you what is going on. So one of my good friends, who's like a mentor to me and one of the greatest guys I know in the industry, we were talking about it, and tomorrow, so the deal was made. I think it was 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago,
Okay.
and the they released no, it was on a Saturday. Oh my god, it's been a while. It's been a minute. I think it happened on a Saturday
Oh wow.
that so they came up with this deal,
Yeah.
and then now um I think the DGA sent out an email to everybody, to kind of see, kind of give the gist of what the deal is looking like. And tomorrow, I was told they are going to have an in person meeting in Atlanta and I think maybe in LA for the DGA members to come and sit
Mm.
and listen to the negotiators, and they will basically lay it on the line word for word and give an explanation about what what is to come. And the big thing that I've been hearing about is, so I think the whole reasoning was AI is becoming a big issue.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing for the WGA, which rightfully so. Rightfully so. And in the DGA contract, they talk about on how, or the new tentative deal, that they will have, I think it's a meeting every 2 meetings every year, and where they discuss where AI is and the development within the studios themselves on
Oh
how,
wow.
yes, which would be a big deal. Um and that's also, I've heard a lot of people talking about that that's probably the reasoning why um the deal got the
Hmm.
deal got made
Yeah.
so quickly, was that was a big thing. But then you have writers talking about the fact that it really, like, it the one thing I did hear too is it would shorten the time until an AD, assistant director, basically my boss. There's a first AD, which is, so in the hierarchy, and again, this is for anybody watching or listening or when they will listen that don't understand this. The hierarchy on set goes like this: you have the director, you have the DP,
Okay.
You have the first assistant director.
Uh-huh.
Basically, the first assistant director is almost like the director himself. He
Mhm.
makes sure everything is executed and makes sure things are going on time. Basically, there have been instances, and I'll and one of them I'll talk about because I think this is a very interesting thing that happened behind the scenes that wasn't really talked about, and I think you'll find this very interesting.
Okay.
Is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the
Okay.
Godzilla 2,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Dowdery basically shit, I don't know if I can even talk about this.
Maybe tell
I'll
me
t-
after.
yeah, I'll tell you after because this is a really good juicy story that I think you'll get a kick out of because it's also about a lot. But going back to it, basically the first AD could direct the film. And there have been, and it's not talked about a lot, but there are instances where the first AD basically has directed the movie. And they it's never
I
made
mean, I think that
public.
happened. Didn't that pretty much happen on Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yes.
I remember.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yes.
Yeah, that's a
So
good.
basically, the first AD could basically direct the movie. And if the studio's desperate enough, they will say, yeah, direct, like basically
But what
give
happens in that case, Tyler? Because like then when you
it's,
have like say they try and get the directing credit, right? So you'll have like for a film. Let's just use Bohemian Rhapsody. I believe Brian. Who got the directing credit for that? Did Bryan Singer get the directing credit for Bohemian Rhapsody?
no, I thought it was, let me look it up real quick. I could have sworn it was, the other, I don't, hold on. Let me look it up. I don't think Bryan Singer got the direct. He did get the directing credit, but basically, wasn't
What?
it the other guy?
It was
What's
the
his
other
name?
guy, the director of Rocket Man.
Yeah. Oh my God, who directed Rocket Man? Oh my God, why am Dexter Fletcher? It was
Yeah.
Dexter Fletcher, who was also fun little tidbit. He Dexter Fletcher was also an actor. He was Pinky in Doom, the movie Doom that they did the video adaptation of.
Oh,
Remember, did you ever watch
I
Doom?
never watched it.
Basically, he plays a guy that doesn't have any legs and he's on like this
Uh,
wheelchair. Like he's basically part of like the lab, I think, of when they go in
yeah.
if you want a good just fun movie to watch Doom, man. It's Carl Urban and The Rock and I forget the guy's name, but it's got some good actors in it that it's just fun. But going again on that, it I would think there would be a deal made behind the scenes about like getting the first AD and also what isn't known much either is the first AD is, and I was talking to my first AD friend who has worked on a lot of great movies and TV shows. And I consider him like a mentor myself too.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling me that basically the first AD gets a producer credit
Mm-hmm.
always, almost always in a movie. So if you're ever looking at the crawl itself, find the first AD and then look at the producers because they usually get a producing credit as well. So I would think if I were a first AD on a movie and the director had a hissy fit or did
Yeah.
something, you know, and left and the studio's like, fuck, we got to get the first AD to direct the whole thing. I would hope, and any first AD I know would be like, well, you want this to happen that way? Then then get me a better deal. And there
Yeah.
would be a ratification of the contract, and the DGA, the Directors Guild, would negotiate something else to get them more money.
Those are
And
such
if
interesting stories when it comes to like what I think the term's like ghost director, right? Like the
yeah,
director that
basically yes.
sometimes
Yep.
like I think it's been disproven, but I don't know. It's that rumor. Maybe it's true that Alex Garland directed Dread.
There is that rumor, and like when I'm, what I'll do is if I ever hear of anybody, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
cool. Let me tell you, dude. Like again, working on film and TV sets, the stories that I get to hear are absolutely astoundingly fun and cool.
Yeah.
And if I ever hear, also talking about Alex Garland, I'll drop this knowledge. Um, I have heard people who have worked on Alex Garland's next movie with
Oh,
Kirsten Dunst called Civil War. And I heard it is awesome and it's phenomenal. And
that's good to hear.
yeah,
I haven't
and
seen Men. I do plan on seeing it at one point, but I remember
yeah,
Men didn't get that great of a reception when it
yeah,
came out. So it's good to hear if people are loving it because he's one of my favorite directors. I love well,
I
Ex
love it.
Machina is one of my favorite science fiction films, and I loved Annihilation.
Yep.
And of course, if he
He
did direct Dread, I really love Dread, but he did write Dread, so
Yep. And
I
then
love it.
he wrote 28 Days Later and
Oh,
28 weeks later. He's
okay.
he's phenomenal.
He's so
And from yeah, and
can
again
you know.
like go ahead.
Speaking of directors, though, I want to give a shout out to Stephen Caple Jr. Was it Steve Caple Jr.? I always
Steve,
forget.
I think it's Steven. I think you're right. I
Um,
think it's Steven. Let me look.
man, did
But
he
yeah,
do it?
he did a good job. He
He
did
did
a
a
good job with
great
this.
job on Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, and I loved his work on Creed 2. I personally think that Creed 2 is better than Creed 1, but I don't know. Like, I think I'm kind of like I think it's. I'll just say I think it's just as good, and I think the thing with that movie is in its direction because the way the fights. I love the way that the um, fights are shot because there are these like zoom ins that he goes in that really brings you into it, and um, I was so happy to see when I'm watching Transformers. I'm like, wow, like this is directed really really well, especially like the action. Like you can see the action, you can tell what's going on. Um,
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
it's
really I'm
good.
really excited to maybe tomorrow I'll go see it cuz
Yeah, definitely check it
I
out.
need and I think that's also what we can, whenever we do these things, we can talk about just as much as there's a lot of hate on like the oversaturation that people are talking about, right? Of superhero films, of these films. And we were talking about that in one of our Twitter spaces. It's like it's not I don't think there's fatigue. I
Hmm.
just think they need to they need to be boosting up they need to be making their films better. Like it's not like I think certain studios will not
Hmm.
say who studios because it's like, you don't want to shame anybody, but the people need they you can't just release a film on the fact of the brand itself and think it's going to be just an amazing thing. You need to actually make, like tighten up the reins a little bit on what is going on. You
Gordon
know,
Miller made a great comment about it where they said like we don't believe in superhero fatigue, but we believe in the fact that when these movies come out, audiences aren't gonna keep seeing bad films. They need to be. I might be twisting the words a bit,
that's
but
exactly it. Yes.
it's something on the order of which I agree with that it's really like mediocre fatigue people having an issue with where there were I mean at this point the comic book movie um you can do so many things with it and yet people will be like oh we've seen enough. However, it's all about how good it is because when you see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Spider-Verse coming out, we're seeing way less people talk about superhero fatigue than they were talking about superhero fatigue a couple months back when Quantumania and Shazam
Yep.
came out.
Yep.
Because all it takes is one or two great movies to really keep the conversation going. And even though I don't think The Flash is great, I think that a lot of people apparently do, and because of that, I think that will also help boost the conversation.
In a
Honestly,
good way.
into the rest of the year because Blue Beetle looks really good.
Yep.
We have the Marvels coming out. Hopefully, that'll be really good. But
Shout out to
um,
Kamala Khan. She is,
mhm,
and
Amon Milani, but she's
Amon
gonna
Villani,
become
man.
I think she's gonna become a movie star from that movie because I don't know if we've ever seen in the history of you know um movies and TV shows because I mean she was cast in Miss Marvel, and I think that then they decided to put her in the Marvels because I think, but I don't know, maybe they wanted to put her in the Marvels first, and then they were like, let's do a Miss Marvel show to increase her, you know, popularity. So I think though they added her after the fact because I feel like um, it's gonna be interesting to see how a TV like right now she's a TV star because she was on TV and she'll become a movie star from the film and she doesn't have like she's not one of those actors that we've seen that oh Aman Vellani has been cast in 5 new projects or a new project so I feel like once the Marvels releases and if it's received well honestly before it's received well when people do hear about it they'll probably start to offer her some other roles so that'll be really really cool
And
but
from
yeah
what I've heard, I know people that worked. I worked on the Miss Marvel reshoots,
yeah
and it was phenomenal. I think Amon Villani is such a such a welcoming breath of fresh air. Whenever you see her, whenever
wait
she's
Tyler, did you talk to her?
not really,
Okay.
but just with her
Be-
being on set, you could just
because
tell why.
wouldn't it be cool? Like, did you see? You saw her in the Miss Marvel outfit, right?
Of course I did. Yes.
Wouldn't that be a cool? Like, if you actually talked to a superhero actor in their outfit, like
Oh, I
that
can't
is
talk about any. I can't talk about. There's
because you. I
stuff
mean,
that
you've worked on projects before. Have you ever done that? Like, have you talked
yes,
to actors? Like, I
yes,
think you said
yes,
you worked on
yes,
Shazam, right?
yes. No, I worked on Black Adam.
Black Adam. So you talked to. Could you say who you
Oh
talked to?
yeah, yeah. Of course, I saw The Rock in his uniform. I saw The Rock
And you
in
got
his.
to talk to The Rock in his Black Adam outfit? Oh, that's
Yeah,
so cool.
yep. And dude, let me tell you, I've talked to actors in their costumes before.
Yeah.
Like it it is it is so freaking cool. Like and here's the thing too. I am the way that I always approach any job that I'm doing, right? Is I am very blessed. I am so blessed to have met the people that I have met, made friends with the people that I have made friends with, and every single day that I am on set, I am so grateful for every opportunity that I've gotten. And again, there are opportunities that I've talked to you about behind closed doors that that are it. I have like there are days it's hard work, and that's the thing too that I want people that ever watch this and watch my stuff to know. It's like it is a very hard job. We are working 12 to 18 hours every day. We are in the sun. We are baking in the sun. The actors are having to bake in the sun. It is not all glamorous. I I was working on a movie I can't talk about publicly and I got torched. I am I I have a tan line that's brown. I am almost brown
Oh,
because of how like my arms. I don't think you can see that in that
are
light,
you
but
putting on that sunblock, Tyler?
oh, I did. Oh my! But
Good.
what had happened was I got torched. I had to go. It was so bad. I'm walking. I had to drive when I was driving home from set. I went and bought myself some aloe gel and was just every day lathering up my aloe gel, which helped a lot. But It is very
Oh,
hard work.
I
Huh?
have a story to tell you. I think I have to tell you after. A friend of mine, he works. He's also, like, he's not working on like the major film sets like you do, but he's working on some short films, and he told me this horrifying story about um, this one person working on a short film that when I heard it, I was like, oh my god, no. But I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Um,
Dude, it's just fun. And
yeah.
as I said, there is never a dull moment. And that's also, I think, the fun part about working on set and working in film is it's never the same. You have your routine, but it's never the same thing. And every day brings its own challenges and things that you have to work through. And there are a lot of I don't get starstruck, man, but
Uh,
there have been times when I have been completely starstruck, and it's a pinch me moment. I'm like, like, and that's the thing too is, and this is what I should always stress to anybody ever working in movies is, you can be starstruck, but realize this too: everybody on set is human. Your
yeah.
your idol that you have had posters on your wall for the movies that they have been in, they're human too. And I think we need to always remember, yeah, 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 yeah. I've heard great things about Chris. I've heard great things about Natalie too. So, and always remember that too. But it's also
Ooh,
just
I
so
can't wait,
freaking cool.
Tyler. I can't wait for Extraction too.
Dude,
Doesn't that look
I,
good?
yes. And I'll tell you something really cool. So, I joined Local 600, which is a camera union here in Atlanta. And I became a full member March 7th. Actually, Jesus Christ, that's 3 months ago. Three
Oh my
months ago, I
god.
became a full member of the union, right? And so this is a really cool story. So one of our good friends, one of my great friends, he taught my dad how to fly helicopters. His name is Al Guthrie, and he worked. He started out his flying career. He flew Huey missions in Vietnam.
Mm.
He came back, and when bang boom, he ended up being Burt Reynolds' personal helicopter pilot,
Wow.
and he would fly Burt from Jupiter, Florida to Miami and do that with him. And Burt helped get him into the film industry as a helicopter pilot on movie and TV shows. One of the
Wow.
first shows that he ever worked on was the Burt Reynolds TV show BL Striker. And he worked on Bad Boys 1, Bad Boys 2, Out of Time, the Denzel Washington movie, Hoot, Flight of the Navigator. Like, this man is a legend in the film industry. Have met people here in Atlanta who have been in the industry for decades who knew him.
Wow.
And but going back to this, I think you'll find this super cool. So, unfortunately, our friend passed from
Oh.
COVID in 2020. But
Oh.
yeah, which is sad. But um, somebody else in the industry, um, Fred North. You need to look up the name Fred North and look him up. He's a helicopter pilot almost on the same caliber as Al Guthrie was, our
Mm.
friend. And he I talked to him, and Fred had never worked with him before, but when when you're like a stunt helicopter pilot, which is what Al was, and also an actor too. He was a SAG member and and stunt helicopter pilot. So he would do
Yeah.
both in movies, which is whenever I get to watch a movie with Al in it, it's always so freaking cool to see the
Hmm.
helicopter and get to
Yeah.
say to people, I have been in that helicopter before.
That's
Like I played in that helicopter before as a kid, which is even more insane. But Fred North has become a huge stunt helicopter, camera ship helicopter pilot. So a camera ship helicopter pilot is him going along filming something. So they got the camera on it and they're filming like a car chase and stuff. And you remember in Extraction 2, the trailer, the um the um the train that he gets on? Do you remember that? Like they're on the
I think
train
so.
tracks and the helicopter comes and lands on it and
Oh
the
yeah.
guys get out of the helicopter. That's Fred North that was flying the helicopter.
Oh wow.
And it's really cool. He
This is
what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and be a camera utility, digital utility, and work with the helicopters and help work with the camera ship and helicopter stuff. Once I get more farther and get more experience, that's kind of what I want to do with that. And I think too, I think Idris Elba being in it is, I don't know if they should have dropped that before the fucking movie came out. I don't know if that
Oh,
was such a good idea. Did you not know?
well,
Shit.
I did find out about that, but then I forgot about it. Oh, Tyler, why?
Oh, shit. It's still good, but it's also like, I wonder what, I think it's going to be badass. And also, Idris also has that TV series too on Apple coming out called Hijack. Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
He's basically a negotiator on a hijacked airplane from like London to New York. It looks really interesting. But also, I think I love Idris Elba and whatever he does, man. He's also, I think it's just cool that he's going to be back. And I also know people that know Sam Hargrave, the director. He
I love this guy. I saw Extraction. I really enjoyed that film, but I like, if when you were talking about earlier, before I think we got on here, you were talking about how much you love David Leitch, and
Yep,
I think
he
that
is amazing.
Sam Hargrave could be like the next David Leitch in terms of, he comes from this action background.
Oh, definitely.
Can totally translate that into film, and man, I'm looking forward to it. But
I think Sam Hargrave, again, I know. So Sam, and that's how David was too. David was a stuntman. Sam was also a stuntman.
Oh, okay.
And did you not know that?
I didn't know about Dave.
David,
No, I did, but
he was a stunt coordinator, and also I think he also was a stuntman. I didn't know
he was a stuntman, because I knew he was a stunt choreographer, which is really cool, because you can tell that when you watch these action sequences. Never do you watch, either a David Leitch film or Sam Hargrave, and you're like, oh, that action is terrible. It's like they know exactly what they're doing. And it's like when a writer directs a movie and it's their, directorial debut, sometimes it doesn't, but usually you see it works really well because they're around these people. I mean, that's one of the things about Bradley Cooper, right? When he ended up delivering Star is Born, what's really apparent is how good he gets the acting in that movie, because he is able to really know what the actors need. And same with like Jordan Peele, right? When he directs his films. So there's that. But I don't know, Tyler, since we're talking about whatever, I do want to shift this topic over.
Let's go. Come on.
I've been having a lot of fun because I did see The Flash a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I've been having a lot of fun looking back on DC. And today I watched a whole special on before Batman v Superman released. And it was mapping out the entire plan of DC. So remember
was
the
it
original
with Kevin Smith?
Kevin Smith and Jeff
Jones.
I
watched it.
Remember
I watched that. Holy shit! Where'd you
It's
watch that on, dude?
YouTube. I can send you the link. It's
Oh my god!
CW presents The Dawn of the Justice,
Yeah!
and
Oh my
oh
god!
my god, I forgot how good of a special that was because it was only, I believe, like 15 or so minutes. But what was really cool about the special is that they mapped out everything they were going for with this DC universe. And one of the things they showed was actually concept art of the Flash movie that was originally supposed to release in 2018.
Oh
And
my god!
it looks different than what we got. But the I love those what ifs, like, you know, where the story could have gone and then where it went. But it just made me, honestly, it made me sad watching it because I'm watching this and I'm like, they had the right idea with this universe. Like, they had all the characters that you could want to see: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Joker, Harley Quinn, Aquaman, Flash. Like, they had all these characters setting up. But I truly believe that it was Batman v Superman that I think derailed DC, because I think that when I'm watching this special, they have everything planned out, but I think they didn't expect the audience to receive BVS so as poorly as they did. And I think I attribute that to the fact that BVS, well, one, it was kind of messed up in the editing process because the film they released in theaters was not the director's vision. It wasn't the film that he wanted, because then we had got the ultimate cut of the movie on Blu-ray, and
Yep.
that's the definitive version of BVS. But it also had to do with the fact that I think the audience wanted a more lighter, a more happier and hopeful Justice League story. And I think, unfortunately, BVS, I think, applies more towards the adult audience than it does towards kids. And I think that's what happened. And but it's just so funny because I'm watching it, I'm like, man, I mean, look, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, you cast Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I mean, they had it all there, Tyler.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, they did, and it's like, and I think I gotta, I think it just goes to show you what is going on at WB.
mhm,
Like, I don't fault Gal Gadot. I don't fault any of them for it because it's like, and that's kind of like that is very sad, you know. And I think, and I I do think there was a, and dude, I remember, I was, I think I had just turned 18 in 20, I think that was 2013 when they announced
mhm.
BVS at um at
Comic-Con.
yeah, I remember cuz I was going to space camp. That was the last year that I could go to space camp, and I was going to space camp with my brother and his and our two other friends that my one of my brother's best friends and his best friend's brother. And I
Mhm.
remember that, man, and it's like, I think it is very sad. I think what happened is they rushed too much.
Mhm.
Like, I everybody makes the argument. I think BVS shouldn't have happened as the second film to Man of Steel. I think there should have been a sequel to Man of Steel, and they should have done maybe a solo Batman film to introduce Affleck as Batman. Maybe not an origin story, but I don't know, man. It's like it's very sad that the casualties of this is we are not maybe getting Gal Gadot again as Wonder Woman. We're not getting Ben Affleck as Batman again, except for the Flash. I I think that's the biggest thing that I'm like. And then the way that they treated Henry Cavill, I don't know if
Oh,
that did such. I can see why people have lost heart, like their also we'll go back to it too, but I think that's the reason why a lot of people have lost their faith in DC. And from all intents and purposes, I don't think the Flash is going to be much of an inspiration anymore to them as well. I
mhm.
think from what I've heard though, I've heard really good things about Blue Beetle. I hear it's going to be a lot of fun. I know crew that worked on it. I literally a few weeks ago met crew that worked on it, and they were like, "It's going to be a lot of fun." I think.
But with I will argue. I think Suicide Squad. A lot of people, I think, like to say that BVS and Suicide Squad killed the DC universe,
No,
but I will argue that Suicide Squad. I mean, if BVS was a big hit, Suicide Squad may have made even more money, and I think that that film made $800 million, which is
a lot of
insane
fucking yeah.
given the
It's a
fact that that movie, aside from Joker, that film has an entire cast of brand new characters. And I think maybe one of the reasons why it didn't get to the $1 billion mark was because Joker ended up not being in the film as much as people thought he would be. And it also had Will Smith in it too, that I think boosted it. But it's just like, I think that movie, I call that movie a win, at least in terms of the box office. I think that film was a huge hit for a lot of audience members. Of course,
yep.
there are a lot of people that don't like Suicide Squad, but I think that movie was a hit, and it's just a shame because with BVS, they needed to nail, especially like you're introducing a new Batman, and you needed to nail that storyline, and a lot of people don't think they did. And it's a real shame when you look at the potential. Like, we could have gotten a Cyborg movie, we could have gotten a Green Lantern Corps movie, and who knows where the DC universe would have gone after all those like Justice League movies came out. Like, I mean, for all we know today or this coming week, instead of a Flash film, it could be, you know, like a Kingdom Come storyline or some other DC storyline that we've been waiting to see for many years depicted on screen. But then again, it's like, if Ben Affleck was still Batman, well, if he was making a Batman movie, we would not have gotten The Batman with Robert
Yeah,
Pattinson.
which
And
is a
it's
phenomenal feat.
it's one of my favorite films, and like, I'm like, well, there is a silver lining to what happened. And it's like,
Oh yeah, I
wow.
think it is like catch 22. Like there's a lot of also now that we're talking about the Batman, did you see the hold on, Harvey, hold on. There's oh, you're going to love this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh Hartnett and Joel Egerton are up for the role of Harvey Dent for the Batman Part 2.
Where'd you see that?
I think it's Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder dropped it on the podcast
When was this?
today.
Oh, wow.
They literally dropped it during like the live stream that we're like, the live stream that he did with Roca. I guess he dropped it literally today. Which
Oh,
is
wow.
yep, which is freaking awesome. I think Joel Egerton would be an interesting one. And I also love Josh Hartnett. I think, like he's got the suaveness that Harvey Dent would have. And I would love to see him as like, going sadistic a little bit. Like, I think and also, again, I think, and I like the fact that Matt Reeves is keeping the Bat universe and the DCU separate. I don't think Robert Patterson needs to bleed into everything. You know, let him again have the detective story. I think I want to watch the Batman again. I think now that we're talking about this, I'm like, God damn, I need to watch it again because it's phenomenal. It is a phenomenal movie. I saw that twice in theaters.
I saw it 5 times in theaters.
You did? Damn,
Yeah.
good for you, Kyle.
Technically, it would be 6 if you count the concert I went to a couple of months ago, which
Yeah.
was amazing. So, I mean, it it's I'm so happy they made that film. Of course, it was originally intended to be the Batman movie with Ben Affleck that Ben Affleck was originally going to direct.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it would have involved Deathstroke, and it would have followed the events of Justice League, where Deathstroke finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he has this reign of terror upon Batman
Oh,
and
I
his
didn't know that.
family, and Batgirl's in it, and it would have been like he was this unstoppable machine going after Batman with everything and everyone he loves. And that sounds like such a cool movie. I really hope maybe in a couple of years DC Comics sets out to make like comics based on the lost screenplays of movies, or they didn't make. One of my favorite ones that I was actually reading about and watching about last night was George Miller's Justice League Mortal, which was originally going to be the Justice League movie to come out around 2007 2008, but because of the writer strike and this issue with Australia and how they didn't pay for the right to use like the sets or something, it caused them to cancel the film, and it's a real shame because that would have
Wait,
been the
wait, wait.
first
That's the
film.
reasoning that they didn't
Yeah,
do
it had to
the
do with
Batman?
like Australian.
Are we talking about Ben Affleck's Batman?
No, I'm talking about the George Miller Justice League Mortal that
Oh,
was going to
oh,
come
yeah,
out in
yeah. Okay.
2007, 2008, or 2009 probably would have come out. I mean, I just that's the film, one of the films that I think is like the big what if, because that would have been DC saying we can have two Batmans, because at the time it would have been Christian Bale in the Dark Knight trilogy, and it would have been Armie Hammer as Batman in this movie, and
Kind of dodged a bullet though with
they
Army
did,
Hammer.
but
Ha!
it makes you wonder how it would have changed, because I mean, I think a Justice League film, to be honest, that movie would have beat out Avengers, because Avengers, it was the first one of its kind. The Justice League would have come out, and that would have been the first one of its kind. And they had the suits, they have concept art. Like, I mean, DJ Catrona, he was going to play Superman, and
Who was DJ Catrona? I forget.
DJ Catrona, he was in um, G.I. Joe Retaliation. He was also in Shazam. He was one of the kids in Shazam. He's a really good actor. But like Anton Yelchin was going to be Wally West, and you were going to have in a very strange cast.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
Yeah,
I looked up who he was. Okay.
Jay Baruchel was going to play Maxwell Lord, and it was going to be such a crazy movie because I've read the screenplay, and it's like when I'm reading it, I'm like, this is a DC comic brought to life. Like, it has all the Justice League characters.
Would you
It
say
has
it's like who did the Batman Returns?
Tim Burton,
No, what was the one Joe
Joel
Rombach
Schumacher.
Schumacher?
He
Was
did
it like
Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. No,
would it
like
have been
this
more
is
comic booky like that?
no. I mean, like it literally, it reads like a comic book
Oh, cool. Okay.
story.
Okay.
Like, it's essentially a story about like they 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 have this thing in the Batman, well, in the Justice League lore known as the OMAC. It's like an all-encompassing satellite situation, and they would have had all these Justice League characters have to find a way to stop the like machines or something. but like some
Oh,
would have been
okay.
mind controlled, and they would have fought each other. And it's insane to think about like this. Like it's one of those movies. Like when you hear about a film that was canceled, Superman Lives. That's one of them with Nicolas Cage. He was going to play Superman. Tim Burton was going to direct it. Kevin Smith was going to write the script. I can somewhat imagine that movie because it's like, okay, just another Superman movie. But here, it's very hard for me to imagine, like in the late 2000s, a Justice League film where I mean, just looking at the concept art and everything. I mean, this movie, if I was a kid, like when this movie was going to come out, it would have probably been one of my favorite movies ever. And I
Yeah.
read the screenplay, and I still think like that movie would have been one of my favorite movies ever. And it's a real shame that it never got made because of like some other situations. And some even think that may have also been due to Christopher Nolan making his
Oh,
Batman movie
I would
and Warner
think.
Brothers, wanting to keep that exclusive to him. And
I
that's,
think that's
yeah.
but that's how it goes, and I that is the sad fact of reality. Like, and I think too, like Nolan, even more so now today, he's got that pull power that he can kind of force the studio
Mm-hmm.
to do what he kind of wants. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled the strings to fucking make that movie not happen.
I mean,
Because
it
he's
was a
like,
risk. It was a risky move too, because like with Avengers, at least they had the assurance that it would do well based on how the other heroes performed. But
yeah,
here, I mean, I think the Justice League movie would have made $1 billion. In fact, I think that Justice League movie would have probably performed even better than the Justice League movie we ended up getting, because it didn't have the baggage attached to it like the Justice League movie we ended up getting. And I think
yeah.
we will, man, I'd love to get like a comic or something of the sort where they, maybe an animated film where they take that script
That
and
would
they,
be a great idea. Why
right.
don't they do that? That would be because you say it reads like a comic. That would be a perfect like standalone animated film that they could just literally drop to Blu-ray, like they did before, like Justice League, the Dark Seed one that they did, like
Yeah.
Justice League War, I think it's called, like you know, and
Because they
yeah.
have continued some of these universes. I'm not sure if you're aware of, but they have these comics called Batman 89 and Superman. I think it's called Superman, I want to say 78. And
Oh,
it
I
is,
heard of 89. I haven't heard of the Superman one.
in fact, actually, you know what? I wonder if they canceled the Superman, because I haven't heard about that in a while. But it was intentional that, they would continue the stories. And the Batman 89 gets the writer of the Batman movies from 1989, and it's Sam
Oh,
Hamm, and he came
oh,
back to come and write some of it, with like Billy D. Williams, Harvey Dent as Two-Face,
oh,
and
that's so cool. Okay.
Marlon Wayans, Robin, and they were good. They would explore these ideas that they never got to fully realize, and like I would love to see how they continue these stories, because they did that with Smallville. If you remember, Smallville ended and they did like a Smallville season 11 comic,
Oh,
and
they did? I didn't
it
know that.
continued it continued the story, because the end of Smallville he finally becomes Superman, and then
Yeah.
season 11 shows you that Tom Welling Superman now fully Superman, and I love
Oh,
those
that's
ideas. They're
cool.
so
Yeah.
cool.
And it's like it doesn't take much to do that. It doesn't take much to finance and get a comic made. They're doing that. Did you ever watch Final Space, the Adult Swim animated show that, or
No.
it's like you need to check out Final Space. I think it's on Max right now, but it
Mm-hmm.
got canceled by TBS,
Oh, wow.
and Max wouldn't pick it up. But what was announced maybe 2 months ago is the creator of the show was able to talk to, I think it was Max, talk to Max and talk to TBS, and um he got the go ahead to make one final like graphic novel to end it because they weren't able to give it an ending. So they're making a comic. They're making a graphic novel to finish off the
Oh,
story
that's
for Final
cool.
Space.
I think they
And
did that with Firefly.
yeah, which is exactly what you need to, like that's money. That's money, they said it's going to take time for them to get it done, but and also I think the money, I don't even think he gets any of the profit. I think literally he did it so he could finish it because everybody
I
wanted this.
I really hope they do that. Like with like Zack Snyder's Justice League, he had plans to continue the story, and that would be cool to see if they end up making comics based on like his ideas.
And
Because
here's the deal,
there's so many things. There's so many ideas that I would love to see in comic book form.
but here's the thing with that one that I just from the business aspect of this,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've heard executives say that they thought it was a really bad idea after the fact to do Zack Snyder's Justice League like they did and kind of give that faction that kind of power to say that they got to do it. I don't know if they would, I don't know if WB would ever allow it to happen because it's like they don't want anything to contradict the vision that, Gunn and Safran are doing right now. Now, then again, there are all these other DC comics going on right now. So
But they also have like the Elseworlds thing that they're talking about, and I mean I'm gonna call it right now, Tyler. We will see. We will no, well not the comic thing. We will see the Ayer cut. I think we will see it, and I think I'm not tomorrow, not next month, not even next year, but I think we will see that cut eventually, and I think that it because it's finished. Like the only thing that they need to do is like the VFX, which are I think very costly, but I think that is one of those like I think the Snyderverse, well, some of those Restore the Snyderverse folks, they are wanting them to literally make, 2 movies that have never even been made. Where those ones you could apply comics. You can make comics out of them.
Yeah.
But like the Ayer cut is actually something that has been made, and they just need to maybe finish some of it and then release it. So that's something. But I think that I'm hoping that a lot of these things we do get to eventually see, because I think, anything is possible. And I mean, when you see The Flash, you will find some things that you never realized would ever happen, and they happen in the movie. And it's like, you know what? Anything is possible in this world. So
I love that.
It's something that, we'll see. But anyway, Tyler, I actually have to go now.
All right, dude. It was good talking to you,
It was
bud.
so much fun. I like this format because you can ask me stuff, I can ask you stuff.
We'll do this again. Maybe let's, hit me up. I'll hit you up in a little bit. We'll talk about what we can maybe do for tomorrow. But I think this is a good format because also we can start getting more people in on this and get the comment flowing. And I think an open discussion format is fun because it doesn't constrain us to one thing. And it lets it evolve into something fun. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
By the way, I need to check out the 4K remaster of Avatar on Disney Plus. It's on there.
I am so let's end on this. I am so fucking happy that they are doing that. Now, I will tell you this. I haven't pre-ordered yet Way of Water yet in 4K, but I did pre-order Avatar in 4K. It comes out. Have you done that yet? Have you pre-ordered it yet?
I'm gonna wait when it goes on clearance because I already have like 10 copies of Avatar on all
Holy
types
shit!
of video formats. I have it on DVD, I have it on Blu-ray, I have it on Blu-ray 3D, and I have like multiple copies of each because there's also like collector's edition. I basically have every format of Avatar, and
Damn. Okay.
I,
Have you
I'm not.
done Way of the Water yet? Have you gotten Way of the Water?
Well, no, it's not out yet.
No. But are you thinking about doing like a steelbook for Way of the Water, or what are you gonna do?
I don't think I'm getting a steelbook because those are way too expensive. But I'm gonna buy it.
They
day
are,
one.
but it's the way I look at it is it's like a collector's item, and I
It
love
is.
I love my steelbooks that I've got, and maybe we can do one where we can talk about what we've got.
$40, Tyler. For
Dude,
a
it's insane.
steelbook. Like, come on. Like, I'm sorry. $40. I could buy a video game with that.
Kyle,
price.
let me show you this before we end, and we can
Okay.
talk more about this. Check this out. Kyle, you say $40. Hey, Modok. What's up, Modok? Oh, my young Jedi, you haven't seen expensive. This is the Little Drummer Girl, Park Chan-wook's Little Drummer Girl
Oh,
TV series that he did back in 2018. That's man, if you haven't watched it yet, you need to. This is that's Florence Pugh.
wait. Park Chan. Hold on. Listen, that's one of my favorite shows. I did not know Park Chan-wook did that.
You didn't know Little Drummer Girl was
Hold on
Park
a second.
Chan-wook?
Maybe hold on 1 second. Now I got to show you something.
Okay.
Let's see. How do I get to it? Oh wait, I can get to it. Okay. Look what I have. Check this out.
Is that the screenplay?
It's the book.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, dude, the series, the limited series is so fucking good.
You are the first person I know who's seen this show that I can actually talk to about it because it was.
Dude, we need.
This was my introduction to this woman right here. This was my introduction to Florence Pugh, and I was like, who is this? She is amazing. This is one of Michael Shannon's best roles.
This is so. Let me tell
But
you.
oh my god, you have the Blu-ray. I was trying to process
Kyle,
Park Chan.
this is Steelbook. This is the Steelbook.
Where did you get this?
It's called. Okay. I'll tell you. It's from the Plain Archive. The Plain Archive, dude. Let me tell you, I haven't even opened it because I don't want to even open it because this is like a collector's item.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have the unrated cut that they never even released in it. Like it.
How much was this?
I'm gonna tell you, it was like $99, Kyle.
It makes sense because no one else has it. Oh my god, I can't believe you have this. See,
Dude.
Tyler, this is what honestly, let's forget about the movie talk, the TV talk. Let's just do this where we reveal something that we found, and then you reveal this, and I'm like, oh my god, that is
Kyle,
insane.
It is, but it's like
I didn't
it's
even know
also-
that was released.
Yeah, it's from look, I'll send you the link for it, but I don't even know if they're even hold on, let me look it up real quick and
Did
see
you
if they're
just get
even
this?
no, I got it maybe a couple months ago. Yes. It hold on, let me see. The plane. Hold on. Let me see if
Oh
they're even
my
still
god.
because here's the thing. I went all in on this. It it cost me a lot of fucking money. And let me tell you,
$99. I mean,
dude, it but here's the thing, like I collect these. I also have a lot of I also have a lot of art around my house, like posters, like I have bought from like Bottleneck Gallery. And hold on, let me look it up real quick
do you
and
know
I'll
what
tell
I
you.
need to look for? I need to look for the Blu-ray 3D of Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh my god, Kyle, Blu-ray 3D. I wonder if they're gonna they oh, here it is. Let's see. Because Kyle, they have different like editions of it, and I oh, it's completely sold out. It's completely
You
sold out.
lucky man. You lucky man. You. No,
Yep, and
but
it's amazing.
the Blu-ray 3Ds, like they don't sell Blu-ray 3Ds in
The U.S. they don't,
America
do
anymore.
they?
They only release them in international markets. So like you have to go online like in international, and man, I wonder if I could find one for Avatar: The Way of Water, because that that would be well worth it, because that one, I mean, that's one of the best 3D movies made. And
I think what they have done with it is absolutely phenomenal with what they have accomplished.
yeah.
I'm looking to see. Also, they made. I'm looking to see if the Plane Archive has. Oh, they got Logan Lucky. Oh, that's cool. Let me look and see if the Plane Archive has. Have you ever seen The Handmaiden, Kyle?
No.
That's it's on Amazon. You need to watch The Handmaiden because it is also I think that will be the last thing we can talk to is it's it's fucking it's all sold out. God damn it. I would have bought that in
Can't
an
believe.
instant. But
Ah,
the Handmaiden is also I think it's Park Chan Wook did the Handmaiden too. And
ooh.
and let me see who. Yeah, Park Chan Wook did it, and it was Amazon, and it's on Amazon right now. I would highly recommend you check it out if you haven't, because it's like an erotic thriller kind of thing, and it's so fucking good. The
That's
female
great.
characters that he writes, and I think the thing that not a lot of people are talking about right now that we need to be talking about is when Max was announced, right? We remember the Penguin trailer was dropped, like the new Penguin TV series, like when they started talking about Max,
Hmm.
like they said 2024. I think the thing that people aren't talking about that they should be talking about when it comes to like HBO and everything else is Park Chan Wook is doing um oh my god, what is oh my god, hold on. It's Robert Downey. Hold on. Robert Downey Jr. is doing um
Oh,
he's doing that TV series with him. The oh my god.
I know what you're
Why
talking about. I forget. What's the name of it?
it's the Sympathizer.
Yeah, yeah.
He's doing that. And I think I
I'm
hope
happy for Robert Downey Jr. because with Oppenheimer, with that, it really looks like he's getting back to the, dramatic Robert Downey Jr. we haven't seen in a very long time. But anyway,
no
Tyler,
t-
I got like 10% on my phone now too,
all
so
right. All right,
I
dude.
will talk to you later.
All right.
Um, I'll send you some links. Okay,
All
bye.
right. Bye, bro. Bye. Bye, guys. I hope you all enjoy this, and I hope at some point you guys can maybe watch some of this. And yeah, um, I I want this to be an open forum format. Talking with Kyle is always fun. He's one of my good friends, and this is the kind of stuff that we should be doing. Film is amazing. We are living in the golden age of film. We may have an oversaturation of different genres, but a movie's a movie, right? And I've had great instances over the last year over the last couple months, 6 months, I would say 4 months, that I have been moved to tears by cinema, by movies, by TV. Succession, season 4, episode 3, was a very moving episode about loss. And then we go throughout that whole season, the separation of church and state episode of Succession, where they're dealing with the passing of their father, and Roman has that breakdown where he sits and he's like, "Is that him?" And he starts to have an emotional breakdown, and him dealing with that loss. And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where you're dealing with some really hard topics about animal abuse, and also the end of a chapter of a great trilogy of movies where these ragtag groups of lovely people, loving characters that you never thought could love each other, they go their separate ways. And that chapter ends. And you have the focus on Rocket, outsider. He was an outsider. And that story struck a chord with me. And then you have the Spider-Verse. You have Across the Spider-Verse that just came out last week, where you have a story about a kid who keeps getting told his story's written. And Miles, in his defiant way, is like, "No, my story isn't written." And he decides to take destiny and forge his own path. And then you also have, in that story itself, the mise en scène of Gwen's story and the allegory of her. It's never confirmed in the movie, but the color palette and the different things that are in when in the opening with Gwen points to her being trans and her story with her father. And seeing on Twitter a lot of trans people talking about the fact that their coming out story kind of mirrored what Gwen was going through. This is why I work on movies. Because I would love to leave. I would love to be a part of a project that has that impact, that has that cultural impact, where we can talk about these things in such an amazing way and do something with it. Cinema has the power to change the world. And we need to keep making those stories that do that. We need to keep striking the chord that gets those emotions. And I know there will be people out there that are like, Hollywood's woke. If woke means that we are giving voices to the oppressed, to a minority of people right now that are feeling like they're being persecuted and are being persecuted within the federal courts, if giving them a voice and giving them an opportunity to maybe feel safe and feel seen, then we are woke. I am proud to be woke because you know what? The status quo isn't working. And if we keep pushing cinema in the right direction, TV and film, then we have won this battle, gentlemen, ladies and gents, theys and thems, and all genders, all sexualities. Pride Month is supposed to be a celebration of people being different. It's okay to be different. And again, I will leave you with this. I am Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I am Christian. But for me, I think that we have left this country and the extreme Catholic and Christian people on the far right keep trying to use the Bible to justify their persecution of people that are being oppressed and persecuting people that are rightfully scared of it. I will leave you with this. Jesus said in the Bible, love one another as I have loved you. He didn't say in the Bible, and I preface this again, he didn't say in the Bible, I love one another as I have loved you, except trans people, except bi people, except gay and lesbian people, except gender fluid people, non binary. He didn't say exclude them. We should all love one another. And I think, again, I know I'm going on a little bit with this, but I think we need to be talking about this more. This country is allowing hatred to fuel, and we have people that are scared, and rightfully so. Two of the worst mass shootings to happen in U.S. history were inflicted on gay LGBTQ nightclubs. Orlando, where 50 plus people were killed. And then just last year in Colorado Springs, 2 instances of men with hate in their hearts going into a nightclub and shooting and killing people for just living their life. Nobody's harming anybody. No, and not nobody. Trans, LGBTQ people, drag queens are not harming kids. The ones harming kids are straight white men. 99.9% of that. We have the opportunity to change the world, and I think we will keep changing the world. We need to do better than this, guys. And cinema is the way to move forward this conversation. And I love what I do. I love working on movies. I love talking about them. And I think we can make an impact. Keep watching those films about the minorities, the minority in this country, the oppressed, the underseen. Because you know what? You might just be moved by those stories. And maybe, just maybe, if you have hate in your heart and you see these films, maybe it would change your tune. We got a lot to talk about, and I want to keep talking about all of this. And if you join me for this ride, I'm not going to be overly political, but I will be talking about this stuff because it needs to be talked about. Hollywood can do some good, and it's woke. I don't even think that term, that you try and bastardize Hollywood by saying that, but if Hollywood is woke and that means, oh, they're giving voices to the people that are being oppressed by the right, by the extreme right and the right supporters, then I am proud to be woke. I am proud that my opinions can change. I am proud that I see past the hate. I see the hate, and I think enough is enough. The last thing I will say is this. If you are feeling oppressed, if you are feeling persecuted, if you are feeling this, there's a lot of people out there that love and care about you. And whenever I'm feeling like all hope is lost, I go back to this quote. The night is darkest just before the dawn, And I promise you, the dawn is coming. That's from The Dark Knight. And I hook onto that quote all the time. Good night, everybody. And I cannot wait to keep talking because this is what I love. I love talking about movies. My grandpa instilled the love of movies into me, and I have that fire lit. And for the last 20 years without him, I've kept that fire alive, and I cannot wait to keep growing in the love of film. And also, I can't wait to be bringing my own projects to life because that will be something that I will be doing in the future. And this is Tyler 2.0 signing off.